Good evening, everybody. You join us to show that Sam is late by 30 seconds, 3 seconds, and Mike is just changing his headphones because he's got different ones. Oh, Sam's in a new location. Where are you now?
My living room, my flat.
Oh, okay. How far away is
it? The router is about, 2 yards away from me. So if this doesn't, it sounds like it's working okay. To be honest with you, given you responded to me immediately, it sounds like the solution in the short term is I'm going to go and buy a network cable this week. I've decided.
Yes, you spend that £3.50.
That makes me sound so parsimonious, but I'm going to go and do that. But
evening, guys. Someone's word of the day: toilet roll is doing him all right, isn't it? Evening, Mike. I'm good. How are you? Sorry, I looked away.
Are we going to do the groundbreaking news that everybody will be disappointed with straight off the bat?
Which is
Bruce ain't here. It's the first one of the change of the month. Bruce isn't here. He's on holidays at Butlins. He's not had this approved by HR. He's not consulted anybody.
No,
Bruce is HR. So
exactly. So he's checking his own homework. So there's no calendars tonight. So. If you've got a problem with it, other than asking how old he is, go and ask where the fuck his calendars are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't he also put in a very preemptive poll asking if everyone was going to be on the pod?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit early on a Friday to be seeing who's available. I thought there's something fishy there, wasn't there?
He must have been him. Look, we'll battle through without the failing calendar game. It is the Jack Grealish of podcast games. Let's be entirely honest. He's a little bit faded. People like to see him, but ultimately, after the last time, you're only as good as your last game, and it was appalling. Let's be entirely honest.
The attendance one?
No, the calendar. The calendar one last time was awful. I'm trying to scroll up through the WhatsApp to see if
while you scroll up, there's very few footballers frustrate me as much as Jack Grealish. Anybody see him against Bournemouth? Tell the man he can shoot.
Oh, no one voted. Is that right?
The problem with that, though, is that he used to shoot loads when he was at Aston Villa, and it's been coached out of him by Guardiola.
Of course, it's Man City. It's the most boring brand of football I've ever watched. Sorry.
Did you watch the game this afternoon? It was dreadful as a spectacle. No. Let's call it a spectacle.
I've learned that lesson. And what I did is I thought, right, it's Sunday afternoon. I've got a few hours free. And I finally watched Oppenheimer. So I didn't watch any football today because I watched too much yesterday.
Don't need to watch Oppenheimer. It'll be live in the next couple of months.
I thought, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, right. Okay.
We're never going to get to League One the way that the Americans are going.
I had a sudden urge to look up corned beef.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, you guys need to write down 5 players now, town players, any players you want, and
past or present,
whatever you want. Okay, that is good. We'll try and make something else. So we're going to play town poker at the end of the day. So you need to pick 5 players that you think are going to be your best hand. Okay, during it, I'm going to ask for questions. Hardest player, whatever, and then you have to pick one from your deck. I'm not going to tell you what the categories are going to be, so you're going to have to go with it.
I'm in a bit of trouble. I haven't got a pen. I've got an Allen key and a bit that keeps up a curtain rail. Will any of those help me?
Go and get a pen, or just type it on the phone and send it to me privately.
Like an escape room. This right? Get out of this room using this Allen key and this curtain hook.
Do you know what? There have been times
keyboard, do you need that? I ain't got the thing it attaches to. I don't know why I've still got the keyboard.
You're turning into Bruce, just selling stuff randomly. Sam's
great
gone
news,
offline altogether.
Great news! I have a pen.
Good. Right. Can everybody who's listening? I've got to think of 5 categories. Can you help us out? Send some through, and I'll pick some of the best ones that we've got. That would be really appreciated. So, quickest player, fastest player. Imagine top trumps. What would the categories be? Weird and wonderful. Do the thinking for me.
And it's 5 random players that I've got to think of, basically.
Yeah, okay. You got to think of what's going to be your best hand. Because I like the idea by the end of it, I'm going for hardest player. And both of you have all got Graham Hockless and David Soames.
He was a player that got better the more he was on the bench, wasn't he?
I mean, a lot of people like that. Alex, there you go. Best player player got better off the bench. Alex Hunt.
We sort of don't need to know the categories first, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm gonna pick them at random.
Ooh.
I think we should talk about this now. I can only remember one Town player ever now.
And it's Doug Farm.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk? Do we need to talk about Mike and the fact that he's been able to see Doug Farm topless twice in a week?
Do you know he's also popped his nose twice in a week, hasn't he? What a legend that fella is.
Keep him coming, folks. He's a brilliant baldest player, Andrew. That's amazing.
I'm not going to write him down, but who remembers Darren Barnard?
I remember Darren Barnard. He's the closest we've had to an international for a while.
No, we had a New Zealand fella, didn't we?
Montgomery.
Mulgrain, right back.
Oh, yeah.
But another, what was he called? Hamish something or other. I can't remember his surname. Under Hursty. Mark 1. Last conference. Hamish something or other.
Oh, Sam, you've got a cold, haven't you?
God almighty, I've got an ounce full of that. I don't need to
someone shove some Otravine up his nose, will you?
Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Stop shoving stuff up his nose.
I'm going to mute you so you can sniff your nose in private, and then you can unmute when you're clean.
I forgot every Town player ever.
Do you want some thinking music here? We've got to get on with the show in a second.
Can we write this down before the end of the show? It's like at the end, isn't it? So while I'm procrastinating about something or other for 25 minutes, I've got some time to look at my Doug Tharn poster. Yes, I have got one, Ben, and write down some answers. Can you tell that Sam's on an iPad and he keeps touching it, and I keep thinking he's trying to poke me?
It's like the old National Lottery advert.
Yeah.
This music has done some mileage for us.
It's a joke you make, so of course it's done mileage. Every joke you've ever made's dragged it out.
Tacklebury going in 2-footed. Player most likely to sleep with manager's wife. That is going in.
I can't write down the answer because it might be libelous.
Oh, really?
It's only libelous if it isn't true.
There we go.
Being true and being able to prove it true are two completely different things, Sam.
Joanna says,
he's a good one.
Has made my 45-minute drive to work Monday and Tuesday amusing. I feel like I'm going to miss it if I watch now. Sam's sporting a sharp haircut. Someone's appreciating you.
I would say though that but it's amusing, but you can wait again till Tuesday to catch the second half.
Yeah, exactly. It's like watching Town in 2009, 2010. You can wait. It's fine.
Yeah, just listen again. It does great for the advertising.
Have we all had a nice weekend and nice weeks? Anything notable to report?
No. Sam's got a cold.
Sam's just sneezing away. Do you know what? We have to applaud him because let's be honest, this is looking like Blundell Park at the moment. It's only 3/4 full. Where's
I wouldn't have come on tonight if you had a full quota given my disposition. But given I've played half fit.
And everybody everywhere listening, Sam is devastated.
We've mocked Sam relentlessly, but he does the miles. He comes on. He is who's a journeyman player that just does his yards and is a 6 out of 10 player?
Harry Clifton.
Go on then. Oh. Joanna, you've got a deal. You'll listen again if I don't rant about right. I won't mention him this week for you. There you go.
What about the Morecambe keeper? His kicking was pretty shit.
Now him. I've got opinions and none of them are good.
Go on then. Give us one. Let us have one. Let us absorb your opinions. What's your hot take on Morecambe's keeper, whatever his name is?
No, fuck it. You've been too sarcastic. I'll keep him to myself now.
Has Sam been to the Turkish barbers? Asked GY 1884. Player with the best song or chant about them. Oh, yeah, these are all coming through. Biggest sick note. That's a good one.
Thank you for sending these through. And then Alex doing something back at house, which is asterisking them all. So was that the right word?
Yeah,
so that he can find them later. So we now know the categories.
Yeah, but there's 22 of them. Actually, you're the only one that will, because Sam won't know because he hasn't got admin view.
Forget I said anything. Carry on.
Yeah, exactly. And Sam's just gone altogether. But there's 22 and there's only 5 cards to be dealt. 5 hands. There we go. Thank you, everybody. As always, you are beautiful, radiant, and effervescent, and always there to help us out. And everybody's gone.
I'm still here.
I'm slightly worried what Sam's doing. Why he's,
I was privately messaging
right up his sinus.
I was privately messaging you my 5 players.
Oh, thank you very much. They are Darren Manstram, Anthony Straker.
Well, that second one wasn't very imaginative in terms of lies, was it, Alex? Bloody hell.
Hang on. Whoa. Hold up. We've lost all semblance of rules, right? Why are you telling us the names of his players before we do the categories?
Because they're not. Trust me, Darren Manstram and Anthony Straker are not in my 5 categories.
Good. Can't run a fucking bath, Green.
I'll tell you what, Green can. There are Greens out there. There are Greens that can run midfields, aren't there?
Green.
Yes, there is. Kieran Green, a man redeemed. That is how you do a link. Thank you very much, Mr. McMahon. That is incredible. Kieran Green running the rule. We will talk about that, and we will talk about Town's 3 points against the mighty Morecambe, which yet again cement. That's not me. That wasn't me. That was you. Your hands were me. It's either that or we've given old snot nose here. He's got admin rights now.
Just start. I pressed it by accident. Just go. I'll turn it off.
You ruined it. Such, started so... Don't... We started so well. We didn't. Will we finish well?
We'll take it out in the edit.
There's no editing. I can't be arsed. It's a Sunday evening. Do you think this thing's edited? Fuck it is.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got a penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good goal. You can't make it straight like that.
Guten Abend, mine seafarers. It's great to see you. The Town are back in the points after a disappointing trip to wherever it is Crewe is. No one really knows. Is it Wales? I don't know. Town come out 3 points against mighty Morecambe, which further gives them a chance of playoff glory. Are you already gently looking at hotels for Wembley, or are you still in the hunt for automatic promotions? We want to hear from you. What did you make of yesterday? GY 1884 starting out saying the atmosphere in the upper was clash yesterday. Same again for Swindon and Wimbledon, hopefully. Absolutely. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about season tickets. We'll talk about, was it the worst referee you've ever seen, or was there method to his madness? We will talk about that and many other things. Sam is here with a tissue wrapped around his nose. Mike is coughing. And I am the only hill that this podcast can die on, apparently. Bruce is at Butlins. Yeah, true. We die a lot. Bruce is not here. He has forgone your love. And quite frankly, he's worried. He's spending too much time being asked how old he is by you people as he walks around in his trench coat. And we can only encourage you to do it more. Make sure if you ever see Bruce, sidle up to him, whisper in his ear and ask how old he is. Please do it. It is more for our entertainment than yours, but it is slowly getting to him. There was 5 or 6 people that asked him at Crewe. I'm sure there was more yesterday. He didn't bring it up. But Grimsby Town 3, Morecambe 1. Grimsby have won more games by the odd goal this season than they ever have in their history. What was different about yesterday? Mr. Barrick was there. What were your thoughts on Town's win over relegation-bound Morecambe?
I wasn't there, actually. I had a day off yesterday.
Fuck's sake.
I wasn't there yesterday. I had a day off. First good time in months I've not been. But no, it's nice to know that people assume that I go to games. A rarity on this podcast, even when Bruce is here. I thought yesterday, the first half was very scrappy. I thought neither side really got going. It was difficult to really get any sort of passing flow going. I still think the pitch is a problem in that regard. But I thought after that, in the second half, and I don't think it's coincidence, this is after McEachran came on, we started to play, we started to pop passes into midfield, we started to move the ball a lot quicker. And frankly, they just couldn't live with us. We scored 3, even one was in the first half, but 3 really good goals, all of differing quality. One's a good delivery into the box, a good header. One's just a worldy belter that's hit in the top corner the moment he's hit it. And one's a really well worked, like, cross from Rodgers, little flip by Barrington, and a good little sort of finish by sort of Rose-esque goal, really, by Green. Just to kind of, it's become sort of bizarre, so certainly in my consciousness as a Grimsby Town fan, that basically this is like the 10th or 11th or 12th time this season that we have just been ostensibly better than the opposition. I mean, we've won games in the league in the league before. But we've never been sort of clearly better than sides in the way we were yesterday. I mean, they just couldn't live. Once we upped it to a tempo that we know we can operate at, they were unable to live with it, and it could have been 4 or 5. I mean, we've had 9 shots on target. Barrington's forced another good save, I think it was. Rose hit the underside of the crossbar when I thought he'd scored. I know they're a poor side because they're looking like they're going to go down to the conference. We shouldn't get too carried away on the back of that. But it was important on the back of Tuesday, which was a little bit of a kind of hiccup and a sort of bounce on the ground. I mean, there were mitigating circumstances, a dreadful referee, and the absence of Rose, which I thought the absence of Rose was even more profound than I thought it might be. But it was nice to get back on the bike and do well. And now we've got a trip to Harrogate with a lot of us going, and an opportunity to kind of really solidify ourselves in. We're now at the stage basically where we're going to have to make a mess of it to not get in the playoffs, although we should caveat that with we are more than capable of doing that.
That was pretty comprehensive. Thank you. Mike, your thoughts from the teller?
Yeah, I think Sam pretty much covers everything everybody would think about that. I think first half we were the better team without really impressing ourselves as much as I'd like us to. I thought Tory did okay, but I think the change in midfield was needed at half time. And I think when George McEachran came on, you could instantly see we were on the ball more and we were moving it quicker. That's not Tory's fault. He's new to the league and he's new to the country. That will come. I've seen plenty of him in the bits and pieces he has done when he's played to think he'll be okay. I'm really glad we actually put this one to bed. I was, about 70 minutes in or 5 minutes before we scored, whenever that was. I was saying to my wife that, this is so Town, we're on top. We could have scored 5 or 6 and we're still only leading by 1 goal. And we needed to put that game away. And it's something we've not done too much this season. We've won a lot of games, but as you said earlier at the top of the show, by the odd goal, which means you're hanging on to an awful lot of points at the death. And as Morecambe have been a poor team this season, that, they're in the relegation zone for a reason. You're playing a team down there that's scrapping for their life, and they're not difficult games. We've spoken at length before about teams that come and to try and frustrate Town and maybe not as expansive. And we're better with teams that are out there and open and pushing forward. That seems to have gone a little bit now. We're playing against teams that play every sort of way and still winning. So brilliant game, put Tuesday night to bed quite quickly. What's that, 3 wins out of 4 now? And we're all aboard the promotion train. But I think George McEachran at half-time, him coming on, did really well in the second half. I think we need to have a word about Denver Hume more than just, that's 2 more assists. So that takes him to 12 this season, which is fantastic. But I also think his defensive capabilities have really improved this season. We spoke last season about him really being quite weak there, bit like Glennon, really good going forward and a bit weak defensively. That seems to have all but gone now. I can't really remember too many times he's got exposed over on the left-hand side. So as well as his assist and forward play, his defensively has got really, really good. And the last couple of games, Barrington, who's not been in and around the team as much as he might have wanted to, has really taken the mantle as that second striker, stretching the game really, really well. And I'm so pleased he got a goal yesterday. So all in all, great team performance. Players are starting to come back. We've got them on the bench now, so those injuries are starting to subside. And there was an early comment earlier about the crowd. First time in a long time, I could hear the crowd consistently for such a long time. And it really came over on the coverage that the Blunder Park was bouncing a little bit, or it seemed to be on the coverage. So well done to everybody that was there. It sounded great.
First game I miss in months, and the crowd gets good.
Yeah, take the
someone there.
Yeah, exactly. God, could you imagine his negativity just permeating through the main stand? It must seep into the very wooden beams of that place.
Why do you think it's falling down?
Well, yeah, I assumed it was just
the singing. There's only one David Artelli just going, "Chuck his phone book, prove you wrong."
Yeah.
Actually,
that was very good, Mike. I'm very impressed with that.
It's also the sort of thing I'd say.
Yeah, well, I was thoroughly enthralled with it. Love watching this team play. Unfortunately, we're getting to that part of the season where you can't do anything but repeat yourself. I think we're brilliant in the turnover. We win a lot of balls. I was really surprised with how much time and space Morecambe gave us. Slightly disappointed we didn't create more and put more away. It's a great opportunity to put 5 or 6 past a team that is just devoid of confidence and try and do something with our goal difference. It's unlikely we're going to catch anybody else, but if Salford find themselves in the mix by the end of the season, we could at least challenge them, because we're going into it with a 1-point deficit with every team we're playing against. Does it matter? Maybe not. But that would have been nice. But you can't really complain about the football that we put on, the style of play. Luca Barrington, can I just say, what a change in form he's had in the last couple of months. He was really falling out to be a bit part player, was really sort of drifting. I thought he was going to be one of those forgettable loan players that didn't really leave with any sort of goodwill in the bank. But he's been time and time again in the last couple of weeks, while we've been limited on the players we've got, he has come in and done a job and has done exactly what we've needed him to do, and a couple of different ways of doing it. And then yesterday, his eyes must have lit up when he got that opportunity. And I can imagine that will be on his YouTube show reel for years to come. Mike?
It looked to me, and this is I think this is a problem we've had from time to time when we've got too much time. And I think this happened at Crewe, because I think we did have opportunities where we could have got a goal. I think when we've got too much time, we think about it a bit too much. And I think with Barrington yesterday, ball comes across to him, one touch, bang, and it's a goal. If he's on the edge of the box having to beat a man, he sometimes checks back a bit too often. But he's been fantastic the last few games. And I think links back to what I said sort of at the start of the season. For any team in any division, you've got certain players. You will have your stalwarts, the people that are good players for that division, experienced players with some experience. You'll have some younger lads that are coming through your academy. You'll have some people you're taking a gamble on, and then you'll have some development loans. And it's really important with these players that come from places like Premier League teams like Brighton, is we let them settle into men's football, because they've never played it before. They've played at academy level, which is I've never played there, but you can just see it's a different game entirely. And you're going to need those players to make a season. Look at the injuries we've had and the players that have had to step up and have done. And Barrington is one of them. Maybe not as consistently as he would have liked, but now he's got settled in the team. He's getting to the business end of the season. He's really starting to come to the forefront. So well done to him. Well done for Artel nurturing him throughout the season, because a player down on confidence wouldn't be able to do that. So he's obviously been well looked after. But I go back to it. Whatever division you're in, whatever team you are going to need these players that are a bit part role, but when you need them to step in, they do. And that's what he's done. It's what Luca's done over the last few games. Corey's probably done that from the start of the season and developed into a hell of a player. Green's probably doing that in the number 10 role, because you'd have maybe thought Davis would be the first choice in there, but he's not been available. So you can go through the squad and see all these players that have really stepped up to the mark.
You say that every squad's got a kind of a nucleus of sort of players who've been there before in the league. It sort of reinforces my point. Your point really that for my money we've got one Rose. That's it. Nobody else in the squad has really sort of is experienced in these sort of circumstances before.
Can I list them to you?
Look, go on.
So when you start the season, you don't know who's playing, do you? So we may not have played many of them, but you've got them in your squad. So you've got Thompson, you've got Rogers, you've got Green, who's played a couple of seasons at this level and a couple of seasons at the level below. He's 28 now, an experienced player. You've got Rose. You know, you've got Wright that's been playing at League One. So you have got a few players in there that are experienced enough.
Tell you what, Rose certainly sort of stands out above that lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You say Vernon, Davis, Thompson have barely been on the pitch. Rose is the one who's kind of. This is why I think we stood on Tuesday night. Rose does hold us together. Like and I think he's fundamental. Just going back to Denver, he's the leading assister in League Two from left back. He's that good. I mean, when the Player of the Season vote comes out, I will be voting for Denver. I think he can dictate a game from fullback. The way he sort of cuts in and sort of starts running. Once he gets up and running, they can't stop him without fouling him. Wheely scored. I think it was actually what created the corner we eventually scored from. There's a little sort of deflection around the corner. He'd sort of run, but they wouldn't tackle him because he can't get the ball off him. I mean, he's just unplayable at this level, and we should be grateful. Really, we've had probably a top end League One player, frankly, at this level for a season. Sorry, Mike, you want to jump in?
No, I was just going to build on your point. You're quite right. I think Denver is quite fundamental to what we want to achieve. He has a lot of the ball for a left back, and he's not always wide. He steps in quite a bit, and I think that's where this 3/4 at the back works quite well because McJanet comes over a little bit and sort of fills that hole in behind him. So he's got a little bit more license to get forward and inside. And when he's not on song, we've said before, you really see a difference in our play. If Denver Hume isn't getting the ball or isn't doing things with the ball, it's a lot harder for us to create those chances. So, full credit to him. I think he's had a great season. And 12 assists is incredible from left back.
Because he got ridiculed a bit at the back end of last season.
He was poor.
Unfairly. I mean, I think he was coming back. From I know we've had players come back from a serious injury, but it was a really serious, like it was a double leg break. I mean, that's a proper bad one. He sort of, I mean, Artell, I think actually on here, actually, when we had him on here at the back end of last season, he said that he was great for the first 3 or 4 weeks when he just ran out of steam. But a full pre-season and some coaching from some top-level coaching seems to have sourced him out. But no, Denver and Rose are fundamental to the way we play. And
that's another lesson maybe we should, fans in general should learn, is a player's been out for so long and they come back, like Denver did, came here after quite a long injury. It takes players a long time to get back to form, and we've just seen that before our eyes. A lot of people wouldn't have been too fussed if Denver Hume hadn't signed in the summer. I think that's fair to say, and I think it was probably he was looking around, and he didn't get anybody, and that's why he signed late. I'm just speculating; it's a guess. I think this summer, if Denver Hume doesn't sign a contract, I think he'll be fine. Yeah, when he. But I think if Denver Hume doesn't sign a contract this summer, I think everybody, including me, that wasn't too bothered last year, would be bothered now. And that shows you the difference that just getting back into it, being given time, being given the platform to do it from a progressive management team and the training, it does them wonders. It's hard to lose a talented fullback who, when it comes to his assists and his passing, are instrumental in the team's success. If you let them go for free, it really is a sad indictment of the state of the club, don't you think, Sam?
Liverpool supporting Sam. I'm not prepared to comment on that. Denver Hume's not the vice captain of the football club who's run his contract down deliberately and then done.
Okay, I'm bored of that now. It's only just a little joke. I didn't need an entire rundown. This isn't the Anfield rap.
I do want to build on something that Mike said, that I won't be that. I mean, I won't be bothered if Denver goes, but I've kind of already got my head around the fact he'll leave us at the end of the season, and I'll just be kind of like, right, we've revived your career. We've done some good out of it. You've sourced it out. Fair play to you. Go and have a great career somewhere else, mate. I mean, I kind of just sort of like in a sort of Connor Townsend-esque way. I'm just sort of happy that we had him, frankly.
That's a nice way of putting it, Sam. Think of the time you had, not the time. Rather, I can't even remember what it's called. Ignore me.
Don't be sad. It's over. Be happy it happened. I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it is. And we'll just find another one from Svalbard or somewhere. Sorry, Mike.
The only thing I would say about Hume is I put something up today. Is it would be nice. It'd be nice if the club could agree something with him. I'm sure they're trying everything they can. Maybe tie him down to a deal with a really reasonable buyout option. I'd have thought that would be the thing that suits all parties best. Ensures us and ensures him. So hopefully they could get something done before the summer. But I would not blame him in the slightest. It's a short career. Long injuries can happen, as he well knows. I wouldn't blame him if he went elsewhere. I just really hope he did stay.
And we've got a better chance of keeping him in League One.
I think he sides in League One, frankly. I think if we go up, we'll keep him.
Is that what you want, Sam? You want us to lift the trophy, followed by Denver Hume signing a contract with the trophy in his other hand?
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? The optics, from my sort of comms background, that would be fantastic. That would, but that could be just.
Well, we can dare to dream. Crewe put a bit of an asterisk next to it. Mike, you've just messaged me in private chat. What do you say? Okay, let me know when. I said go for it after Sam.
I wasn't reading, I was talking.
But go on. You've got statistics you want to put out there. Then we'll have a quick wrap up of the Morecambe game, and then we'll go into Crewe, the referee, and then we can do season tickets and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's not too much one to put out there. It's just I was looking at something yesterday, and I put it out on social media today, and I think it just gives us a bit of context about what we are seeing. Now, if we get promoted, great, fantastic. That'll be a huge thing. If we don't, I think we need to realise the context of where we are. Only 3 times in the Football League have we won 20 or more games in the last 45 years. Now, I don't include National League because I don't think a team like us, although we should, that's key context for our history, for our recent history. I don't think we should be looking to records from there because I don't think we should have been there in the first place. But it's 89-90, 90-91, and 05-06 under Slade. So all 3 of those tallies are still beatable, 2 of which are quite likely on current form. And I think it just gives people like us a little bit of context that in my entire lifetime, Grimsby Town have only secured more wins in the Football League once in my entire lifetime.
We didn't win 20 games in 98.
No.
I mean, sorry, in the league. Sorry, you're not including the sort of.
We went on a massively bad run, actually, just before the Auto Winsbridge year. There were people whinging about it.
We didn't start that season very well, did we? If memory serves me. Yeah.
So 1990 and 1991, that season finished before I was born anyway. So yeah, only once in my entire life have we got more wins than this, and we could take over that possibly.
There's a flip side to that as well. I think is worth pointing out. Look at someone in a group chat that we're all in yesterday put a thing of the table this time last season. We have lost exactly the same number of games this season we lost last season at the same stage. The difference, we don't draw games anymore, or we basically don't draw games anymore. Draws kill you in this league. They get you relegated from this league. They stop you getting promoted from this league. So it just shows that there's an arithmetic reality here, isn't there? Win 1, lose 1, you get more points than if you draw 2. And that's kind of
that's Artel's mantra altogether, isn't it?
Well, you could draw. You can win 1 game, or you can win 1 game and lose a game, or you can draw them both. You've got less points but more defeats. So it is completely him. As if we've got a point, we're never really going to settle for it. We'd rather go all out and get the 3 points because that's going to edge us up the table a bit more. And as a fan, I think that's a fantastic thing to be seeing from the club. The last 20 years or so, ever since that Slade season, we've always been, well, we'll take a point if it's on offer. And fans get bored of that, and it's great to see.
I've taken some shaking out of that mentality. I was stuck in a kind of Hurst-esque, let's call it, set of let's keep what we've got rather than go for more. But this season kind of, even if we do fall slightly short, which I still sort of inherent Town pessimism, just think that when push comes to shove, we will probably fall out. But even if we do, this season is still kind of, it proves that sort of going for it and winning and sort of going for games and therefore coming out on the right side of marginal gains more often than not is the way to success. But no, I'm getting quite philosophical there, but
I think the goal difference also does that. I think it shows you two things. It shows you the style of play, being more open, wanting to score goals, and obviously being more likely to concede them. I also think it shows you the progression that this squad has had. I think the start of the year, a lot of our performances were backs against the wall, 1-0 wins away from home, losing a few at home. Since that bad run of form in January or February, I think we've been fantastic, actually. So I'd like to look at a comparison between earlier in the season and now, because I think it's clear to see the progression that has happened with this team. The more they have done something, the better at it they have got. And that, on the balance of the evidence we're consistently seeing now, is just an indictment of what David Artell's like. You've got a list of 7 or 8 players now that maybe last year were no hopers, and this year you think, oh my God, look what he's getting out of them. And it's the same for the team as a whole. As you follow it through its progression from being more pragmatic last year to this season, it's just improved. And I think he's quite a progressive pragmatist. He'll find the most progressive way to get a result. Yeah, and if that's earlier in the season, Gillingham and Wimbledon away, sitting back and getting them on the counter, that's the most progressive way we can get a result. He will. Now the players are better. He wants to play a little bit more attacking football, and I think that's a great mantra for him to have, really.
Progressive pragmatism. I'm sending them on straight to CCHQ, mate. We're going to run on that one.
I thought you were politically neutral nowadays, Mr. Barrett.
I didn't say it was a good thing.
There we go. He's lost his job. Back to that again.
Oh no, not again.
Not again.
What, another one?
Sponge on society.
This spring is so much better. Town are better. I'm not on the verge of unemployment. It gets great.
Anyway, God, how many times? It's like herding cats. Great to see Vernon back on the bench. Great to see him happy with getting. Someone asked how long it is before he gets injured. Hopefully not to the end of the season. Hopefully he will be up and running for our playoff games, giving us a little bit more options on it. Anybody else want to say anything about yesterday's win against Morecambe and what we saw?
Not really, but just on the back of what you said there, get a big Crewe back, and I really do fancy us. And if a big Crewe comes back, none of the injured players left are really ones that I would think are going to be massively influential. We've got Davis back now, we've got Vernon back, and if he has a run of form to the end of the season and gets involved, then I think we're looking really strong coming into the last couple of weeks.
Think how strong we'll be when Pike's back.
Absolutely. Well, didn't you ring me the other day and you didn't even know he was on loan and you didn't know he was injured?
I remember, yeah, and then I remembered because we retweeted it. He got injured within the first 10 minutes of his game at Eastleigh.
Yeah,
trust me. If he'd not been injured, we'd have recalled him, wouldn't we? So he could have played on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Tuesday night. I'm just going to write down the time because this is where an advert will get stuck in because I don't do that often, and that's a bit that takes up most of the time. So the advert will go in now.
Don't buy that.
Don't buy that. Who wants that? All I ever hear is Chris Tucker banging on about stuff. Is it Chris Tucker?
What a load of old shit.
What a load of old crap. Anyway.
It should be like a charity advert or something.
I will talk about Tuesday because I was actually at Tuesday.
Thank you, Sam. Right. So Town lose to Crewe. A pretty
Alex,
terrible. Yes.
If Sam's going to talk now, I'm going to write down my list.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. When doesn't he? Can I get this intro out? I'm glad I don't write this stuff down. So Town lost to Crewe. I'll be honest, pretty appalling defending for the first. Then some poor refereeing, but I think my hot take is he wasn't as bad as some people, including myself, thought he was in the cold light of day. We'll talk about that. But what it did allow was Crewe to slow the game down, to stop it, and to keep it a little bit interesting as we go into the end of the season. Sam, you were there. You enjoyed the road works that got you back at about 1 o'clock in the morning. What was it like down in Staffordshire /Wales /wherever it is?
But I won't talk about the journey back. Bloody hell. It was one of the worst. We had to go down some right country roads. But anyway, I thought Tuesday night was a kind of reality check's the wrong. I think, as I mentioned earlier on, the mitigating circumstances were quite clear. I don't think we concede the first goal, for example, if Rose is on the pitch, because he's the spare man at set piece. He's the spare man and he heads the ball away. And it was definitely a case of like classic old-fashioned Town of like having numerous opportunities to clear the ball, failed on them, and eventually punished for it. And then we just we played all right on the ball. We sort of had enough territory. I thought we played quite direct on Tuesday night as well, actually. But frankly, unsurprisingly, we lacked a bit of cutting edge at the forefront of the pitch. I mean, I'm not saying Barrington and Luke had played badly. I'm just saying that they were kind of asked to do a job that they didn't really. They're not kind of cut out to do, especially at that stage of their careers. I thought they did quite well, really. But the ref was. There's a debate to be had about whether it was a bit like the Wrexham playoff game, really, whether it was just so bad for both sides. Did it actually make an impact on the game? I mean, I can't believe that throw-in has actually gone through absolutely everybody.
And this is where we can bring Mike in to talk about Jordan Wright, because either he is playing at 1,000% and worked that one out, or he just got nowhere near it.
I made a promise earlier in the pod that I would not talk about Jordan Wright.
Okay, fine. Brilliant. Let's go with he is doing the sort of limitless calculations in his head, going, if I don't touch that, that does not count. And I think that's what he did. And I think we should have a round of applause for Jordan Wright for completely missing that ball as it was thrown in, and a snot squeeze by Sam as well. What was
Nevertheless, though, the opportunity. I mean, the decision not to send off Demetriou is a proper shocker. And the opportunity to play against 10 men for 60, 65 minutes or whatever it was would fundamentally change the dynamic of the game. Not to mention when we had 2-on-1 when he brings it back for a free kick because he couldn't wait to get his bloody card out of the pocket. The egotistical pillock.
Let's try and think about this correctly. It took a while, but was the goal that was thrown in and didn't touch anyone, was that correct?
That was a good decision.
Was the
footage from the home end shows on Twitter?
Was the high foot by Evan Corey the correct decision? It was.
If that's still the law, it is. What he said.
Yeah, high foot, no contact.
Yeah, no contact. You can't give a foul for no contact. You can't give a penalty. Sorry,
indirect free kick.
Yeah.
So two absolutely pearlers there. Demetriou, he got booked, so he was already booked, and then Luca got booked for the identical challenge. I would think it is unfair to expect a referee to send someone off for that. As a do one, do it again. I would imagine if Luca did the same, it would be you do that again, you're off. You're already on a booking.
No, but Luca's clean through into the channel. It's irrelevant what the challenge is. He's made a cynical challenge as one of the last men. It's obviously not a straight red card, but Luca, if you see, the ball's got into the channel and he's away. Now he's going to beat Demetriou in a foot race. So it's a yellow card on several ways.
He'd already beaten him. He'd beaten him in behind 5 minutes before. That's why he did it. Because he couldn't pass me again.
The referee doesn't have a rule book that says only award these yellow cards if they haven't got a yellow card already.
But Mike, that is you can say there isn't a rule book for that, and you are right. But we all know full well that is the unwritten rule in football. You don't see those sort of things given for 2
You
yellows.
do. Harvey Rogers. He got
Harvey Rogers
twice.
Well,
twice in 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's
that.
But that's the exception, not the rule, isn't it? So the reason why everyone was so cataclysmically angry at the Harvey Rogers thing is because it was. But I thought he was a bad referee, but I don't think he was the 0.001. I think he got a lot of those decisions right. What I didn't like was he allowed the callback for the play on was wrong, but the vast majority of it, he was just incompetent for both, as you were saying.
Hang on, this is Sam. This is a hill I'm prepared to die on, and I probably will die on it. Right? Hang
on, let me get some good music if you're going to do this. I need hill to die on music.
Mic up, and they can't hear more. Probably better for you. So, where is the cutoff between it is and isn't a yellow card? So, is a 2-footed tackle just because he's got a yellow card 2 minutes ago? Where's the line of definition there?
I'm going to side with Alex on this one.
I'm wrong. If Sam's going for me, I'm wrong.
Right, Barrick, shut up. Green, king yellow goals back. Right. So, yes, he was bad. He was bad for both teams. He was bad in the flow of the game. And he was bad for the game in general. However... Right. Okay. Never mind.
I've got a letter here from Mike McMahon, who says, Alex, I have been loving a central defender for 6 months now. It is a long distance relationship. Sorry. I get what you mean, and I was just as angry as everybody else.
No, you don't, because I hadn't fucking said it.
Okay, go on, say it then.
No,
if I've somehow loaded...
You sarcastic prick. You're on your own now. Crack on.
Oh, thanks for admitting I'm right.
No, right. So
he
was bad for the game. He was bad for both teams. I think the way he controlled the game led to it becoming farcical the second half.
Agreed. I agree with that. Yeah,
over 7-minute period for 23 seconds. I think that was laughable. I don't think that Crewe got 3, in my opinion, game-changing decisions go against them. I think we had a 2-on-1, which he brought back, which he had plenty of time to look at and made that choice consciously. I think Green was a stonewall penalty from the corner. He was watching it. I was watching. I saw the jostling going on, and I was watching the ref, and he was watching it straight in front of it. As soon as the ball came in, he turned away, so he didn't have to see it to make a decision. And I don't care what you say, that is a second yellow card for Dimitri. As I said, there's no rule in the rule book saying only if under these circumstances. Barrington is away down the touchline into not a goal scoring opportunity, but a chance to create a goal. It's a yellow card all day long. Yellow card all day long. You're talking shit.
Why didn't we run it Dimitri more in the second half then? He's on a yellow card. We know Barrington's got the legs on him.
We didn't get 35. We didn't get to 35 seconds to run at him.
It's difficult to run with it when one of their subs is wiping the ball for a throw-in, Sam, for 35 minutes.
Thank you. So Simon Hodson was reminding me of this. So he was the same ref that sent Luke Summerfield off a few backs for after he poked Summerfield in the eye, if anybody remembers. So there was a point at Halifax where the referee put his arm out to award a goal kick, I think it was, and at the same time then poked Summerfield in the eye, and the ref sent Summerfield off.
He got relegated from the Football League as well. And it's bad. Do a little thing. Have a little poll. Ask people to say whether they think it was a yellow card or not.
I'm not bothered. I don't care about the people.
There's a broader issue.
This is an Alex Tatership.
There's a broader issue here, though, with refereeing, isn't there? So, again, I know you didn't watch them, but John Brooks was the referee in the Manchester derby this afternoon. John Brooks, the Manchester derby, which
talk about that.
The Manchester derby is like kind of one of the sort of top games in English football, if you like. And John Brooks, the man who awarded that penalty to Harry Cardwell at Swindon all those years ago, and awarded that goal at Altrincham when the ball was clearly not over the line, is now considered one of the top referees in England. If that doesn't demonstrate to you that we have a kind of absolute dearth of talent, I don't think that kind of does it justice, really, in terms of it, then it's a kind of... Anyway, my point I'm making is refereeing, the standard of refereeing is on the floor in this country. And I don't really see how you address it. I've finished my rant now.
Just to go, maybe to get away from referees and go back to the game. Let me bring it back. I've not done that for a while, have I? David Riley says we never scored a goal, even if they went down to 10 men. I think I could understand that view from the second half, but I think most of that comes from the fact the ball wasn't in play. Again, 23 seconds worth of play in 7 minutes. I think we created enough sort of chances around the area that we should and could have been on the score sheet. I think that's absolutely clear. The only problem is I think we made the wrong decision or played it too soon or too late and just didn't create that chance to get a shot on goal. I'm thinking on the second half, Denver Hume on the left-hand side, he sort of got pushed out a little bit wider than he should have been. If that ball's played straight into his path, he's through for a shot on goal and can get that away with a bit of venom. And there was 2, 3, 4 examples of that. So I don't think that's fair. I think it all comes from the farce the game became in the second half. Now, as a home team, 1-0 up, you're loving that. You know, there was an example of Long, I think his name was, getting subbed off. The referee went over to him and pointed to go off the pitch where he was. Long told him to fuck off, went off decided to walk the long way to go off, and the ref just turned around and ran off. And that just gives you the the sort of example of what that game had become. It was farcical. So we'll write it off and move on. We won on Saturday. Who gives a fuck?
I thought it was given what we had to play with and the games we'd played, the Colchester game emotionally and physically would have taken it out of quite a lot of players. I thought that was quite an intense game of football. But yes, I thought the referee was bad, but I thought he was League 2 average bad, not Joyce bad.
However, it's no excuse. The second goal wasn't conceded because we're pushing for an equaliser. You know, it was a set piece goal. Yeah. And we're left with, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Corey on the back post with somebody else of a similar height at the back post against Dimitri and another one of their centre backs, which it is really, really poor. As players, you have to be able to make in-game decision, in-game adjustments. If they put their two biggest lads at the far post, at the back post, you've got your two smallest lads. I think you can think, oh, this might be going at the back post. Should we change something? And he's going to dominate Evan Corey. And yeah, of course he is. So that was really annoying. The fact he shouldn't have been on the pitch is another matter. But as a team, we've been really good at it throughout the season. So it may be a bit harsh to pick it up, but they've really got to make decisions on the pitch themselves.
And one thing I've really liked this season is we haven't really had much of this. Woe is me, the ref was shit. There is a conspiracy against Grimsby Town to be anything but rank average League 2. And I think you make your own luck in leagues like this, and referees are simple creatures, and you can start to dictate the narrative to them.
I don't know. You've used a klaxon every week.
Pardon?
I go back to like the klaxon. Do you remember
do you know what? I haven't used it. No, I haven't. If you go back and look, I haven't used that klaxon that much since, shall we say, December. I haven't used it much.
But go back to it. Do you not remember the non-penalty that was not given in the last minute at Tranmere, for example? Stonewall, and he books the lad for diving. I don't know.
Yeah. Wasn't there another one a couple of weeks ago which was similar? I can't.
You could argue that Colchester's goal, but the one that was apparently the one that was ruled out last week was clearly onside. Apparently, I haven't seen that back. I'll do the Arsene Wenger on that one.
And I don't have a care. David Riley says team look like they lack confidence when Rose is missing. He's such an influence. I certainly believe, David, he's our first defender. He leads from the front, and that pressing always helps. There we go. Are you reading Paul Gibbons saying that you're a bit too precious? It's fun, Paul. It's what I help because I help calm him down.
So this would be boring if we just came in here and went be nice to each other for an hour.
Yeah, this isn't.
What does your too precious even mean?
You're like a ring, and a little lizard-like man wants to hold you tight to his chest.
Right. Okay.
The Carlisle striker got booked for diving, and it was a close call, said Richard. I can't remember that one. I'm really sorry, Richard.
Oh, Wright comes charging out. He's right on the edge of the box. He's right on the sort of the right side of the box. Wright dives in. Allegedly, according to the referee, misses him. It's 1-0 to Carlisle at the time. If he gives a foul, it's a red card to Wright. And we're 1-0 down to 10 men with Orton coming on.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. Oh well.
I've googled it. I think Paul Gibbons think I was serious when I was kicking off at you.
Oh. Tacklebury says his ring is precious too. Joanna says, did Mike just get called a snowflake? Probably. He's a bit.
It's woke nonsense.
It's okay. He's a bit too woke. Says me in a St. Pauli hoodie. But Crewe, biggest contenders for our playoff spot. Are you worried about what they have to offer? They lost yesterday. They did lose yesterday, didn't they? I remember.
Yeah, to Bradford.
I think it's Colchester, actually, mate.
Do you think so?
Colchester probably will do. Yeah, I think Crewe look to be on a bit of a slide, and I think Colchester probably the informed team in the division, or they were when we played them a week Friday.
And they beat Notts County yesterday.
Yeah, they beat Notts County yesterday. I mean, it was the only shot on target, I think. But it would be Colchester I'll be more worried about than Crewe. I think also Crewe's running is dreadful. I think they've got 3 of the top 5 to play or something like that as well.
Don't we? Oh, no, we don't. We've
got Vale and Wimbledon. But interestingly, I think if we beat Harrogate and beat Swindon, I think, Touchwood, I don't make a prediction, but I think it'd be very difficult to trip. You know what I'm going to say? It'd be difficult to trip up, but I think it'd be difficult to catch us if we take 7 points from the next 3.
Swindon will be a tough game. They've only lost 3 times since in the last 20 games or something daft. That's not a their 14th on the beach type affair. That isn't. That's a harder game than that.
Yeah, and he's got added motivation, hasn't he? It's not like it's the end of the season on the beach sort of thing. He's got to.
Well, then again, I'm looking here. They've only won 2 of their last 7 games. They've drawn the others, and I'd happily take a point, probably. But we've got to make that about us, nothing about him. And I know I'm as bad at it as everybody else, but it's about our focus. He's completely irrelevant to that game, and hopefully we can deal with it and just get the 3 points and move on from it. I think you're right, Mike. I think when you're getting into things, I'm looking down the league and what we've got. Beat Harrogate. Nice to get a win against Swindon. That would be a good way of doing it. Port Vale, I can see us losing that. MK Dons away, we can win that one. And then it comes down to AFC Wimbledon at home. And I can see us taking that on the last day of the season. Blundell Park rammed and everybody bouncing about. I think you can see it being secured at MK Dons, a playoff spot, shall we say.
Just that we've never got a point at Harrogate, ever.
We won last year, didn't we?
No, we got beat 1-0 towards the end of the season on Tuesday night. We never got a point there. My record's dreadful.
Oh, it's because we won here. It was here we won this season, didn't we?
But we've broken a lot of hoodoos this season, so
yeah, we won. We'll be fine. It's Harrogate.
It's definitely one of those places that we haven't. Yeah,
let's just get back to what we were thinking. Let's be the arrogant former Championship club we used to be. Arrogant, who are they? Doesn't matter. They can clip this up next week. 3 of their fans will watch it and laugh. We can win that one, no problem. Who they got? I don't even know half their team. Oh, Ben Fox. Oh shit.
Bryn Morris.
Bryn Morris and Ben Fox. Oh, fuck's sake.
They can both play as well.
Well, yeah, it's not cup tied.
No, as in they can both. No, as in they can both play. As in, like they're both decent footballers.
Oh, okay. You thought we were going to. I'm really sorry, but they can't play because they used to play for us, so they're not allowed to play.
Is Ben Fox not injured? That would be a bit of a surprise.
Probably.
Although I'm a bit extreme on the old injury prone front, but yeah.
Fucking hell, someone stubs the toe and sounds like rip the contract up.
Steve Evanson's on Twitter. We asked for your thoughts. Personal observation: when Paul Hurst went, there were 2 main things I wanted to see: players running ahead of the ball and a passionate, committed team. We've now got this in technical skill and moving the ball at pace. It's great to see, and this season is already a success in my opinion. Sam, mute your mic. Everyone can hear you snuffing. GTFC Simpson reactions want to say, how do we get BP packed for the next 2 games? Attendances aren't good enough. Basis of our position for this season. Up the Mariner says, I think the club should go all out, do 2 things the last 2 games under 3. Mike, you had a point on it saying it shouldn't be an issue. Wimbledon shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I'm just very conscious of not wading into this again.
Yeah, that's
said what I've said. I
just think it'll be.
But I think the next 2 games take care of itself. I think you've got Easter holidays with Ian Holloway there, and I think that will galvanise a few of the semi-often people to come there just out of pure hatred. And then Wimbledon, if there's anything left on the table or left to win, then I think that'll get people there. So I think the next 2 games it'll take care of itself.
On top of that, we've got 2 away games where we can. First of all, Harrogate sold out, so that's brilliant. But we've got 2 massive away ends we can fill. Port Vale's away end is a big one, and so is franchises. So I'll be trying my best to get to both of those. It'll be great.
That stand at Port Vale, unless is enormous behind the goal, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
is that huge?
And look what's back! I bought a flag again.
He set himself up, anti-Mike. He's been angling for this all evening.
He'll probably leave it somewhere again. You see, Alex buys a flag, Town lose an away game. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Well, I'll have you said, but I can't see anything now.
I still remember at Southampton, me, my wife, and my lad walking back towards the car, which was a route match, and you just running back towards like.
I didn't run. I don't.
You was running out of moving with effort. Should we call it that?
So I'll try and iron it so it's not all creasy. But we've got our flag back. It is literally the same one. So it's got the old logo on, but I change it every year anyway. So there we go. The flag's back. Flag's back, baby. Someone help me fold it back up. Mike, have you stalled or are you just confused?
No, that's just my face, mate.
So have you done, Mike? Have you done your players?
Yeah, I've done my players. You're not mentioning
Where are
season
they?
tickets.
Send them to me.
Well, Danny Coyne's in Wales, I think.
No, send me your 5 players for the game on WhatsApp so I can read it.
Oh, WhatsApp, right? Okay.
Sam has done it. He's been studious. Well done, Sam. Already.
At no point did you say send them to you.
I think I did, didn't I, Sam? Why else would you have sent them to me?
He said send them to me privately.
Yeah.
I'm not that good that I could read Alex's brain.
God, you poor
You
man.
wouldn't want to do that.
Why is Alan Poughton all covered in baby oil?
Enough.
Andrew Nair says, write your name and address on it, Alex, just in case. Do you think I should write it like your mum would write in the back of your underpants, Niall? Just Andrew saying, can you make sure that this is please return to sender? Sam's gone.
That dream he was having sounded like it was good with Alan Poughton, but it was missing a centre back.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm actually comparing Alan Poughton to Doug Farr now. Bloody hell.
There's no comparison, is there?
Anybody got anything else to add? We haven't talked about season tickets, and we're an hour in, but I think we should probably touch on it. I'm really sorry. My thoughts are no price rises are great for anyone in this economy. The club, though, are having to deal with exactly the same bills that we're all having to deal with. It would have been a better idea to have raised them small and incrementally from last season. And then again, the only thing I would say in their my critique would be fine with the price rise. Granted, I understand I'm not paying for a ticket, but I think the club, again, are missing a trick by not offering some form of a better direct debit option, because what you're having to say is because the tickets have come out now, you've got to find the money now between now and May to get the cheapest ticket possible. Yes, that we should all be under the impression that sooner or later I'm going to have to pay for those tickets. But with most of the energy prices, water prices, council tax going up this month, and then having to deal with it next month as well, I find it slightly against the club's ethos that we are expecting fans to, I would imagine, if they can't, throwing it on a credit card, paying 30% on that interest, when the club could in some way shoulder the burden by offering a free direct debit service to do it and having to manage it over a longer period of time than the 3 months that they get given at the moment.
Yeah, just on that, I mean, we had a chat about it in the week, didn't we, Alex? And I might be naive, but I'm yet to be convinced that it's an insurmountable problem. Obviously, it does have issues, and it does have problems that would have to be sorted. Maybe cash flow is an issue, maybe people not paying us. But I think if you did a direct debit, firstly, it just makes it easier for people. So it might be more attractive for people to commit to it than having to do it in one whole swoop. I mean, we're extensively talking about families here. I can understand maybe somebody that's working might be able to afford one, but if you've got you and your wife and your 2 kids, then you start to talk serious money, and that's a bit
and I would have what I'd say if they'd have frozen the price this season, I'd have been saying exactly the same thing as well, because I do it as a day-to-day job, and to be perfectly candid, direct debits can be a pain in the arse. There are times, maybe it's our system that we use, they sometimes don't get picked up. You create a mandate for it, you get it in, and then even though you've created the invoices for it, for some reason they're not connecting with each other. You have to pay for a system to get the money out. So for us, it's someone like Go Cardless, and then you also have to have someone there to just check, because if I haven't got enough money in my bank, it then bounces back, says they've got insufficient funds. What do you do with that? That is up for the club to make that decision, and then you've also got to have someone working on that. But I think that's where they should shoulder the burden, because it's not that difficult.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not making this as a massive criticism of the club. I think it's a friendly critique of what maybe we could do, or be explained why we couldn't. But also on the flip side, I think there is an argument where you could potentially progress the argument that the club could make more money from it. If I'm say Sam, you've got to pay £400 for your ticket, and you can't do that. Yeah. If I said to you, your ticket will cost £500, but you can pay it over 12 months, I think a lot of people are more likely to say, right, well, because of the convenience of paying over 12 months and not having more upfront cost in one go, I can accept the sort of counterweight, which is the more money. I think you could find a balance there, possibly. It might not be possible. I'd be interested maybe next time we speak to them, we can ask about it and get an answer either way, instead of every year having this sort of question. And it isn't a major problem. I'm quite happy with the price increases, but that might be because I'm in London and I'm used to expensive stuff. I'm afraid that doesn't sound a lot down here for sporting events, but I appreciate that's a different story in Grimsby. I would, as you said, Alex, I appreciate the problems they had last year, and it's easy with hindsight looking back, but I would always think a small increase every year is better than going back for it the next year, because you're always going to have to go back and catch that money up. However, the caveat there is, if we'd had this argument last year, then probably we're all in a bit up in arms about the quality we've just seen. So it's a no-win. It's a no-win situation. All in all, I think it's about right. I would just like to see maybe a bit of communication about whether they could do that.
And the argument is to be said is, even though the season ticket prices are exactly the same for this year as they were for last year, hands up who thinks they've got more value for money out of their season ticket this year than instead of last year. And if you are paying 30 quid more next season and you've got the same football on show, is that not value for money compared to a season or two before? What is going on with my life? Anyway,
just hypothetically, I know I'm not a season ticket holder, but if I had a subscription to watch Grimsby Town, which I don't, obviously, when I have to go to Paris and France to watch that. I think it's good value for money.
Sam, anything for you? Because I feel like
as a season ticket holder,
this is like how we are when you're on here. Go on then, go.
As a season ticket, I basically I've not used it as an excuse. That's the wrong way of describing it. But I've kind of I renewed my season ticket last season, and I don't think I'm going to next season, just because it's nothing. I mean, I agree with what Mike says about the kind of thing. It was a bit more. I still wouldn't renew it in that circumstance. I've basically come to the conclusion that I live down in London now. I've done fewer home games this season. I've done a lot fewer home games this season than last season, fewer than the season before. It's basically my circumstances have come to the situation where it's time for me to basically hand it in. But I agree with what he says there about the sort of convenience of it. The club can maybe make more money out of it. And the club's been a rock and a hard place, frankly. It's difficult to justify. And if they had put them up last season, I think a lot of people would have been uproar about, that bloody rubbish for 2 years of season. Are we paying for you because of your crap decisions and Hurst crap? I can hear it now. So I don't particularly have that. The killer is the abolition of the trust membership thing. That's the bit that's really that's a stealth tax rise. Basically.
If anybody knows about them. I think we need to get into that in more detail as well, because it does feel like the trust's influence and not power. Power is a terrible way to describe it.
But to be clear, if there was some sort of Southerners membership thing, not like a full season ticket, I think the club should be looking into something like that.
Well, they'll turn around and say that's 1878 membership, wouldn't they?
Potentially. Or maybe an expanded version of that I'd be willing to look into.
Right.
Will you?
Are we done with that? Who, me?
No, him. We're having this conversation over the weekend. Just be quiet.
Fine. I don't have a clue what's going on. There we are. It is time. Yeah, game 109. Blah blah blah. See you in 2 seconds.
Just before you do, I wasn't being rude to Sam. I was just saying we're going to do something and send something off about it. So stop telling everybody.
Fine, right. So welcome to ruining my game already. -1 point for Mike. Welcome to Grimsby Town Poker, made on the fly. Our two contestants, Mike from Sutton Coldfield and Sam from wherever he is, his living room.
Battersea.
Battersea. Well, so we've got Mike in Sutton Coldfield. We've got Sam in a dog and cat's home. Welcome to Grimsby Town Poker. Our two contestants have picked 5 Grimsby Town players at random, and I too have picked 5 Grimsby Town categories at random. And what we will do is I will put up a category. These two will nominate one of their 5 choices. I've got them all written down here so they can't cheat. And we will keep going. The one that I think is the best option wins the point, and they can argue their case if they feel that they need to. But a quick game is a good game, and we're already an hour and 10 minutes into the podcast. So, starting.
No cheating for Sam, then.
No cheating for Sam. Yes, exactly. Let's have a go. Gentlemen, your first category is best looking town player. Sam, I will go to you first. Who are you going to nominate as your 5? One of your 5.
100% Danny Rose.
Danny Rose is going in. Right, let's go.
I know what Mike's going to say, and you can't allow it.
What?
Mike.
What am I gonna say? No, you're not. You're not. I'm not going to say Doug Tham. No, I'm going to say Peter Till.
Oh, it's the battle of the good-looking boys.
I'm sorry, there's a winner there. It's not Danny Rose.
I might need to go to the audience for this one. This is a pretty quick one. So you got 15 seconds. Who wins, Till or Danny Rose? Get your things into the comments. I will see who comes out winner on that because I can't judge that. They're both good-looking lads. Both good-looking lads. And if you're listening to this on audio, you can watch it live on Sundays at 8:00. But please do listen as well because we get money for that bit. I'm going to close it out in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Chris Billingham wins it
Chris.
At the end, 3-2. Peter Till is the winner of best looking town player. It's that baby oiled Facebook picture from 2008 when he's wearing nothing but a smile. It has won it for Mr. McMahon. Round 1.
Chris Billingham, you legend. Thank you, Tackleberry and Simon Hodson. Other people with a bit of taste.
A taste of the till. Right.
Right sparkling team.
So, round 2. Most forgettable town player.
John Grant.
You knew this fucking category was going to come up, didn't you, Sam?
Well, that's funny because I'm looking at Sam's list of players here.
Sorry. I thought it's Scott Vernon then. Of those 5.
Oh, sorry, I win again. Matt Hayward.
Yep, so Mike wins 2-0. So next one, moving on to the next
you
one.
See, he was trying to cheat again there, wasn't he?
He also cheated in the last round because Danny Rose wasn't on his list either. But
it bloody well was. Right, I'm not having this. Right,
you say he's like C3PO, isn't he? Like, I'm not.
I know it is. I apologise, Sam. I thought you meant the other Danny Rose from Tottenham. So,
hang about. He could have used the 4G one, the 5G one.
He did.
I haven't.
That
thought
was my
about
problem.
This.
He didn't. Yeah.
I thought about this.
Third one. Most player who is most likely to ride the Tinkerboo Factory ride continuously.
I've been injury prone player because there's plenty of time on their hands. Jamie Osborne, therefore.
Jamie Osborne for Sam. Mike, from your round.
I haven't got one I think would, so I'm just going Danny Coyne.
Danny Coyne. Do you want to put an argument to the case of why Danny Coyne would be on it?
Well, they might not have quite seen anything like it in Wales.
Fine, there we go. I'm afraid just even for continuity of the game, Sam wins that round. Well done, Sam.
Who did Sam choose?
Jamie Osborne.
Jamie Osborne because he's injured a lot. I thought that was good.
Is he?
Number 4. Player with the best chance.
Oh.
Sam, you go first.
Of the 2 I've got left, I'm going to have to go Podge Hammond.
Oh, Pod Jammons is a cracking one. We've got Ahmed.
No. That's not even the best one. It's the Podrick Gavin's having a party. Who the fuck is Jamie Vardy? That was the better one.
I've never heard of that before.
That's not true. Mike, yours, because Sam might have just upset me by doing that one.
You know who I've got, and I'm trying to save the last one, so I'm going John Paul Kalala. Who I can't remember even having a chance.
I don't think he did either. So Sam gets the point.
Oh, no, he did. Wasn't it This Is the Way to Amarillo?
Can someone in the audience?
La 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 JP. La 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 JP.
I mean, if not, you've already made it better. So I'll
still win that one. Thank
no, I'm not having that. That's a better chant. Mike wins that one, so he's technically won the game. But we need to affiliate. Pan?
Nothing.
Okay, fine. Biggest sick note.
Off.
Why did? Oh, I wish I'd put Charles Verdon now.
Mate, I've got Steve Livingston.
Yeah, which is really disrespectful to his head injury.
Get on with it.
And I've got Anthony Glennon.
He was a bit of a sick note. Mike, you don't win. That's offensive to me. Sam did. But Mike still wins, even though, let's be honest, he shouldn't have done.
So I win 3-2 with a very questionable call on the chance. That was nearly a massive comeback from Sam there from 2-0 down.
It was nearly a massive comeback, but it wasn't.
I'm not claiming any credit for bloody Jamie Osborne spending more time on the Tinkerboo ride at Old Towers, wherever it is. I'm so sorry. That is.
So, was that better than Bruce's last calendar game?
I can't remember his last calendar game. Was I here?
It was really.
It was better than his first calendar game.
We didn't have any.
I did love the game last week.
Yeah, that's good. Right, well, there we go. That's Grimsby Town Poker, and that is it. Has anybody got anything to add? We're an hour and 17 minutes in. Sam, you've got your hand up. What do you want to say?
I'm waving.
Oh, fine. Well, there we go. Mike, anything to add before we leave?
Yeah.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
I got to say, Scott Vernon is getting far too much airtime on this podcast.
The second Scott Vernon reference already this evening. And on that note, and on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell, how good would Town be? Well, we might have had a better chance at Crewe. But there we go. Grimsby Town are into the playoffs. They're staying there. Harrogate away. Good luck to all of you lucky folks that are going up there, all 12 of you. See you all later. Thanks. Bye.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be on a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good goal. You can't make it straight like that.
Green, you're a prick.
In my defense, I thought that ended.
But it's still going.
It is. End stream.